Hi everybody. I'm just come across this thing about a Tory transgender councillor reporting a Labour opponent for calling her a he during a meeting. And this is the bloke in question who has made the complaint. I mean, the bloke said it's been hurt, and is very annoyed, and so decided to take the Labour councillor to the police and reported it as a hate crime. Now, the thing that I find extraordinary is if this was the case, it doesn't say in the looking through the report that during the meeting that this person if there's a meeting there must have been a chair, especially in councils, who was chairing this. And now if this person had repeatedly told the chairperson, look, this person is referring me as a he when he clearly can see, or supposedly clearly can see, that I am a she, which is ridiculous. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you're born a bloke, you're born a bloke. If you're born a woman, you're born a woman. There are two genders in this world, a male and a female. Maybe a hermaphrodite, I suppose, is the third one. But again, those are fairly rare. But the general genders is male and female. So, I think it's extraordinary that this kind of nonsense now, police have set up in Manchester a hate crime unit. And so now the police are going to get all sorts of nonsense. And I'm sure I can't see this lasting, because they will get so much rubbish coming through. The police are complaining they don't have enough people. And with this thing set up, they're going to just get more and more nonsense coming through, instead of dealing with the more serious crimes that are out there. But the thing that I would like to ask, if there was a chairperson there, if this person had asked the chairperson to tell the Labour council to stop calling him a he during the meeting, and he refused to, the chairperson should then have taken action and said, right, if you don't apologise, you will be banned or removed or punished. In other words, this should have been done internally. To take this outside externally shows that there's a problem in today's society, that meetings, things that are supposed to be kept secret within themselves, people just are not capable of doing that. Now, this person was hurt, fine. I say, as far as I'm concerned, it's a he. He was born a bloke. He will die a bloke until maybe science in the future can chemically alter a man into a woman that can produce a child. If that happens, then I'll be the first person to be calling those kind of people she. But remember, if you were born by God as a male or as a female, or as a hermaphrodite, that is what you are to the end of your days. Anyway, the point is that I'm really, really glad that this councillor is not going to sit down and talk shit and nonsense, or so-called apologise. He's refused to do it. Let the police now decide whether to, take him to court or, prosecute him properly, and either fine him or send him to jail. Um, this kind of behaviour. I'm not saying that he's, if I was there, I would be calling that person a she, even though it's against what I feel. And this is the problem. A lot of people, are having to say things against their real will, but out of politeness and out of, I would be calling that person a she. But the point is that this should have been done and dealt with internally. When you start taking this out to the police, what you do is you will start creating the hate crime you're trying to avoid. Because people will say, yes, a lot of people will look and say, yes, we understand you've been hurt, but there are ways of dealing with this, especially internally, without having to take this to the police. And this could have been done internally. So I'm personally pissed off with this person's behaviour. If I was called a Samba or a nigger, which I have been by people, I deal with that person one-on-one, especially in the workplace. And if that doesn't get dealt with, I go to my manager and I inform the manager. Between the two of us, this is what happened. He might call that person in, sit them down and say, right, this is what you said to this person, blah, blah, and we'll discuss it. But it will be done internally between the two of us. Or, if it's a case that he will not stop saying the things that he's going to say, I will confront him one-on-one. And I have done in the past, got into fights with people and dealt with it that way. But the thing is, once it's dealt with, once the two of us have fought, whoever's won, they walk away and they go about their business. But obviously, if you do lose a fight with a situation like that, you are going to be constantly harassed by that person. So a lot of the time, you have to make sure that you win that fight. You put every effort in to win the fight. But coming back to, I'm drifting off and talking nonsense, but coming back to this, this should have been done internally. I would never, ever, ever go to the police. If someone called me a nigger in the middle of the street, I've been called that. I've got hold of that person, I've gone and right into their face and said, right, repeat what you said, sunshine. Go on, let me hear you. And they especially if it's a white person, they've gone red, they've apologised, then I've told them to get on their way, and that's it. It's done. You've embarrassed them in the street, and it's happened to them. Now, some people will say, look, in life, we mustn't have all these nasty things happening to us. But this is what life, the phrase, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You have to go through adversity to get through to the other side. Okay? And a lot of the time, you have to deal with this yourself, which makes you a stronger character, I believe. If you need to report this in a workplace situation, that's no problem with that. Go to your manager, report to your manager. A lot of the time, it's just a case of talking with each other. Some people will say, well, what's the difference between, this and going to the police? Going to the police is a step too far. This needs to be dealt with internally. And this should have been dealt with internally. This should not be taken to the police. So, anyway, so you can read it for yourself. It's transgender councillor reports Labour opponent for calling her he during a meeting. There you go. Thanks for listening.